Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Back to the BNS podcast. Have you guys ever thought about how important your relationships are to you? I know personally that all my successes, all my accomplishments, um, whatever you can think of personally that I can think of, have actually happened because of the relationships I've had. Somebody knows somebody that knows somebody and recommends me, or somebody comes into my life and becomes a boost or a pillar. It's all about relationships, our family relationships, our social relationships, our work relationships. So relationships are the most important things, as long as I'm concerned, that actually make us who we are. Welcome to Broken Not Shattered. This is your host, Ike. Today, our focus is on relationships, and I have a lot to say over the period of time. I was supposed to have a guest, and for some reason, all my guests decided not to show up. So I said to myself, you know what? I'll do this by myself. I'll start the door, I'll open up the doors, and then we can go into it. What are the most important things about our relationship? Why is it important that we do have these relationships? No matter what life throws at us, we have some kind of support, we have some kind of comfort, we have some kind of pillars in our lives at different seasons in our lives. I have been there for others, and trust me, many have been there for me. So I understand the importance of relationships, and we're going to look at the dynamics of them, be it in the family, in our marriage, with our partners, at work. There's a lot to talk about over the next series this month, over the next series and in the month of July. Okay, so there are 3 or 4 reasons why I personally believe that relationships are very important. In no particular order. And sometimes I'm going to use my own personal experiences because that's the easiest one to use, but it's not the most accurate because my experiences are just pertaining to me, and obviously you have your own experiences. But in my case, right, I found out that it is important for us to have very strong and good relationships because they help with our physical health. I read somewhere recently while I was preparing for this podcast that people who have long-term relationships, or let's just say healthy long-term relationships, who undergo heart surgery have a tendency to survive that surgery survive that surgery over the first 3 to 4 months, unlike people who are single and are not in very healthy relationships. Now that's a big telltale sign right there. It helps you build a strong immune system. It helps you regulate positively your blood pressure. When we have very poor relationships, our immune systems break down, blood pressures most times can go up. You see people struggling to recover from injuries. To understand the essence of friendship, the essence of relationship, being there and encouraging one another and supporting one another. So personally, I think that when we have healthy relationships, our health, physical health begins to improve in so many different ways. It also leads to, second thing, it also leads to longevity. People who have very healthy and strong relationships have a tendency to live long, right? They live long because there's something to live for. You know, they're happy, they have the support, they have the right resources around them that will keep them going. Because the more positive our relationships are, the tendency is that your whole body and your whole mind is definitely moving towards a positive side, and research has shown that it also leads to longevity. The third thing is emotions. Emotions. Yesterday, I went to the movies to watch a movie, highly recommended, full disclosure, by the girls, and they said, hey, you gotta go watch this. And so I watched the movie Inside Out, and Inside Out 2. I watched Inside Out 1. But it's amazing, and this is I gotta share this because I think it's important for my audience to know this. try to be as transparent as I can, not making the show about me, but just about it. I haven't been to the movies since 2020. I can't remember walking into a movie theater since COVID. I have watched a lot of movies on Netflix or Prime and other platforms that we have that show movies. But actually walking into a theater to sit down, buy popcorn, buy a drink, and watch a movie, I can't remember. If I have, maybe skip my mind, but I can't remember. I'm doing it since 2020, so it's almost 4 years. And so yesterday was excited to just sit down and just relax and watch this great movie. Now, Inside Out, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, was all about the emotions that were taking place. And I found out that joy, I said joy was a very strong emotion. Joy was almost like superseding the entire emotions that were over there, working in and out throughout the movie. It's a great animation. I think it ministered to me personally because I found out that right there and then that there is a bundle of emotions taking place in us as things happen, triggers, whatever it is, right? And so it was one of those scenarios where I just had to sit back and started asking myself some serious questions. How do I handle my emotions? How do I handle my relationships in those emotions? And because those emotions impact my relationships, whether they're good or not good, whether they're positive or negative, they will have an impact